Business Exchange East End edition. And today is February 7th. So, a quick reminder, if you've had any stats you want to share with Tony, please send him a text message so we can update the information that we're going to share and to show the profitability of being part of this universe. And I'm just going to share my screen quickly to go over the website. And if you're looking to find us to come online, we are at pbex.ca. So pbex.ca. That is the website. Right now, you'll start seeing you should see a share screen. And the member of the week, hey, Kat, you look familiar. Uh, there's Kat inside, and she is the member of the week. So you want to know more about what Kat does? Click on the video. If you're looking to visit one of the chapters, there's the Bell's Corners, East End, this one obviously, and the South End. All of them start at 8 a.m. till 9. And you'll also notice the February 6th after hours group. Yeah, it's already gone by, but we'll have another one next month. Anybody that's a member of Phoenix can come to those events. So just come on in. And so we have other events that are rolling every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Eastern, East Trade Winds. Hey, Hatha Yoga with Jacqueline. So she'll just make you right as rain. Mix and Mingle, Century 21 Club. That sounds like a Wendy moment. At 6:30 on the February 20th. Pingley can help you move your body around and get right with rain too. And then Tony has a special that's on 1:30 on every Friday, and it's the spirit training, and it's about also meditation. The QR directory for all Phoenix members. So if you need to find someone, top books to kind of come into. What else have we got on the go? Year-to-date stats. We're at $6,900 worth of business transactions since January 1. Since 2016, 4.5 million worth of business has been done. E-cards. So if you see the QR code behind me, that is linked to the e-card. And what that means is less friction for someone to get a hold of you. You can share your contact details. Every which way from Sunday, you can get a hold of you, either by text, email, and so forth. And so you hit that and you can download to the person's cell phone. And that's a Phoenix QR code. And we're also looking for partners in business. So activity-wise, we've had 42 referrals year to date and 59 BAMs. BAMs are business activity meetings. What does that mean? That means you get to know people that are in the community, in this business community, and you can make best referrals, right? So, like for example, Dave, if you know someone that says, "I'm really looking for a good steak," well, Dave actually sells that. Or if someone's looking to sell their house, it's Wendy. And the mortgage honey, we all the mortgage. There you go. Or print and photo. That's Ema. So that's the nature of a BAM. I'm going to stop share, and we're going to go into a tech talk next. And Tony, over to you, sir.
This is Josh Lamb, and here we go.
Hey, folks. I'm Josh. My company is Sterling Grace Tech. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about email deliverability. So email is one of those things that is essential to all of our businesses. And, if you're not able to send, you might as well not be in business. Your customers certainly expect you to be able to get an email through to them and to get their emails. And so I'm going to be talking about your emails and why they might be bouncing, as well as some things to consider in the coming year, because there are some technology changes that are happening. So when we are talking about email deliverability, what we're really talking about is how likely it is for the receiving person's mail server to say, nope, I'm not taking your mail. And there are a couple different technologies that are part of that process. There are three kind of core ones that every domain should have set up. So the first one is called Sender Policy Framework. And basically this is a white list of all the different servers on the internet that are allowed to send mail on your behalf. So if you've signed up for some third-party service that's going to send mail for you, but you haven't figured out how to make those SPF Sender Policy Framework changes, chances are that the recipients of your emails, your intended recipients, are going to bounce your mail because you're not going to be your new service is not going to be on that whitelist. An example of this is we have a country club customer who uses a service called Clubster to send mass mail. And when they signed up with Clubster, Clubster didn't explain to them how they needed to set up SPF policies. And so mass mails would go out to their membership, and about 50% of them would be bounced, and they wouldn't understand why. And so this is one simple thing that can kind of fix that level of deliverability. The next one is domain keys. So this is something that we call DKIM in the industry. You might have heard tech nerds refer to DKIM if you've ever heard of this at all, but it is a little obscure, so maybe you haven't. Basically, your server is using a encryption to create a special key that goes out with your mail that uniquely identifies it as coming from a legitimate source. And then the receiver looks at your domain and they're able to tell that this is legitimate based on something that you've published publicly to verify it. And so this is a technology that's really, it's even better than SPF because it implies that you have some kind of encryption key that only the valid domain holder could have. The third one is called DMARC, and that's basically just a tool that tells Google or Microsoft, hey, when I get a illegitimate email from the PBEX domain, when somebody pbex.ca is sending me garbage and I don't validate it because it either failed on the sender policy or it failed those domain keys, send it back to Tony and say, who's the person who or a server who sent this, so that Tony can then go and complain and make them stop sending that spam. So this is a lot of tech talk, and it might be a little bit too much for most people who just want to do their job. So you need to get a great IT support person into your digital Rolodex. And the kind of take home of this is that Google and Microsoft are both two organizations that both heavily use these technologies. They also heavily require anything that's sent to them to use these technologies. And so if you don't have them, they're actually strict enough that this year around April, Google is going to implement a strict policy where if you don't have all three of these in place, they won't accept any of your mail, period. And so this is something that you should be checking with your IT specialist. And so, yeah, that's kind of the core of mail deliverability. So if you want to chat more about email deliverability, give me a call.
Great, thanks, Tony. So the other things we're going to do now, we're going to do a round robin. Hey, who are we? What do we do? If you've had any referrals or business activity meetings, those BAMs, you can describe that. And we have a presentation. So the presentation is kind of at the tail end of the event. And we have about a minute and a half. So try to frame your total content in there. Now, kind of a key piece. If you have other details you want to just let everybody know about, put it in the chat. And you know what? There's not only just the chat to put it, we also have a LinkedIn Live post. So you can put those details inside LinkedIn Live. So that is the link to LinkedIn Live. And we're going to start off now. Penny Lee, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. Penny Lee Prevost, the Dancing Motivator, co-founder of the Graduate Thrivers Incorporated. This week, I would like to remind you that people have probably gotten to the end of their willpower for their New Year's resolutions and getting back into shape or healthy or whatever their goal was for their physical well-being has probably worn away at them. So I would like to invite you to share with them my moving class, either my classic Nia or moving to heel class, because people often say that it's so relaxing but energizing at the same time. And it's something that people can commit to for the long term because they don't have the after effect of the pain of working out. So that's one of the big things about Nia is that we don't believe in the policy of no pain, no gain. We believe in the joy of movement and the sense of pleasure throughout the whole practice. So movement is medicine.
Haley, thank you so much. Susan Ebbs, over to you, ma'am.
Any BAMs for Penny Lee? Just a quick thing.
Yeah, right. So I basically connected with Terry very quickly and Wendy. I also chatted with Lana last week about the mix and mingles that we're lining up. So that's primarily what I did. I did follow up with Josh as well because he did return or I connected with him to get my computer back and needed to get things back online. So that's the size of, oh, and I talked to Dave. I talked to Dave the other day about ordering some Valentine's Day gifts for my husband. And that's
I
it.
didn't know they had heart-shaped steaks.
Susan Ebbs, over to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Bernie. Good morning. I'm Susan Ebbs, and I'm with a company called Melaleuca.com. We help you to clean your home, but not put toxins into the air. The toxins are what are causing so many diseases nowadays: asthma, ADHD, autism, and these types of conditions. I'd like to showcase our dishwasher detergent. It comes in the pucks or in the liquid, whichever you prefer. It's called Diamond Bright. There's no chlorine and no bleach in our products. This will give you 25 loads. All of our products are concentrated, so a little goes a long way, and we're not putting as much bottles into the environment. Again, another way that we're helping to save our environment. So this is a fantastic product. The problem with, say, the other brand, when you're cleaning your dishes, okay, when the dishwasher is running, it's spewing out toxins, but also the worst part is it's putting those toxins and chemicals onto your plate that you then eat. A double whammy. So make sure to use Diamond Bright to clean your dishes. Susan Ebbs, thank you.
Mr. Sam, dashing over to you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Susan.
We're all forgetting our BAMs. I had a BAM with Susan McGarry last week, and Deidre and I are going to meet next week.
Hey, Susan. Thank you. Sorry with that. Sam, over to you, and I'll let you finish your BAMs too.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone, and welcome, Scott, to our meeting today. Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. There's my contact information in the chat. Well, let's see. For Scott, this is what I do mostly: dash cameras, electronics in cars, specializing in installation of dash cameras right to the fuse panel of the car, so there's no wires hanging down. And a great device to have in case of an accident to prove, well, what actually happened rather than hearsay. Also do minor repairs of cars, oil changes, and brake jobs. And well, one thing I did just this week was install a new side mirror on a Ford Explorer, 22 Ford Explorer, that unfortunately the customer had smashed against the side of their garage. So I do install things like that. If you have a problem like that, or you know someone that does, I can install them for them. As far as BAMs go, well, Dave came by last week. He had a slow leak in his tire. I think he keeps running over these nails. I don't know where he's going. This one construction sites or something. I think it's the second or third one he's had. Anyway, fixed him up. Susan McGarry was in, had headlight issues. I fixed up, put back her original headlights that I actually still had into her car, but she's had transmission problems since, and something I don't deal with. But I understand it's all fixed up for her. That's good. I continue to advertise for our friend Alex from Evolta. I give a copy of his pamphlet with each of my receipts. And just yesterday, Tanya came by and with her Camry and confirmed that her passenger side front wheel bearing is going the way of the dodo bird. So she needs that replaced. And she has a exhaust leak that I can't do, but I gave her references to places where I recommend she get it done. Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
And BAMs? Did we cover the BAMs?
Those were my BAMs.
Okay, sorry. I'm just making sure. I kept forgetting all the time. Oh, Tanya, over to you. I'm on autopilot.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Hewitt from Beyond Safety Compliance, although I really haven't been doing all of that recently because, just over a week ago, I realized that there are really sophisticated Canadian-centric organized crime networks that are targeting Canadians. There's no way that maybe they are here, maybe they're in Canada, or they're being fed information from Canadians. They're way too specific for them just to be, 21-year-olds in their parents' basement kind of thing. This is organized crime, and they were very, very good. I wanted to thank Tony for choosing Josh's message this morning. I think that those are helpful. That kind of information is helpful because the environment right now, because I'm learning a lot right now, is changing. And if we don't become aware of just how skilled those criminals are, it's a matter of when. It's a matter of when we're going to be hit. So the more we can inform ourselves, the better. I want to thank Tony for recognizing that I needed help, and I had a session with him last week, and I want to thank him for that. Jacqueline as well was amazing when I, realized that I need to reach out on my own because the police aren't helping me. So just letting you know, I guess I phoned Ottawa Victim Services and I kind of got, well, we're full up with victims right now. So take a number. So there's not, if I didn't have people like you supporting me, I'm not entirely sure what I'd be doing. And I really want to talk to Bernie, because Bernie was the one a week ago who told me, don't share your story until you talk to the police. And I've had a week now, and I want to understand where that's coming from. So Bernie, I really, really want to talk to you about why you said what you said. Have a great week, everybody.
So if you impair the investigation or you tip off not knowing the nature of the crime, that's kind of part of it, and don't want to sully the police investigation. However, that said, doesn't sound like it's moving very fast.
I don't think that applies in this case. So I'm okay. Thank you for that, because now I feel a lot better with just going forward and sharing this story.
Yep, no, it makes perfectly good sense. Dave, over to you, sir. You're on mute, sir. Just like that husky somewhere in your house.
There, is that better? Okay.
Yep.
Dave Belleville from Belleville's Quality Frozen Foods. And had a good week. I just wanted to let a few people know that I have a few extra half sides of cold smoked salmon from Wolfhead Smokers from New Brunswick. If you were to eat it today, it would be like melt in your mouth. It's just 2 days out of the oven, so it's really, really fresh. And the reason I do this is that you can't get really fresh product in Ottawa. You have frozen smoked salmon galore, but nobody's willing to pay the price for fresh. You could probably get it at maybe a deli place, but then again, it's sitting on the shelf. I've seen it green on the edges still displayed in the store. It's not very good. So better to get it booked and get it fresh, really fresh, and then there's no questions asked. So as far as BAM is concerned, you've heard I've met with Sam and Susan. Just a quick note, I feel bad for Susan to replace the transmission, and I keep trying to tell people to buy an electric car, and there's no transmission in an electric car, it's just one gear. And the gear that you have I call it gone, because you really go fast. And Penny Lee can attest to that, because her husband was really addicted to that feature. So that's it for me this week. Thank you.
Dave, thank you so much. Susan McGarry, over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Susan McGarry, and I wanted to feature a product this morning with a company called Pure Trim. Been with them for over 22 years. One of my favorite is Daily Complete. It's a no-brainer. Many of you are already on it. It's a liquid vitamin. Everybody should be on a multivitamin. I don't care who you are. But what I love about Daily Complete is just 1 ounce a day. You just shake it. Tastes like mango juice. And there's a 1 ounce cup that comes with it. And you get all your 17 essential vitamins and minerals. And what I love about Daily Complete, it's vegan, gluten-free, whey-free, and organic. So it's a win-win. And for $49 to invest in your health is well worth it for brain function, nails, overall wellness. Yeah, I'll touch on my trend real quick. I was pulling out of Sam's driveway, and that's when it decided to break down. So a little red face, to say the least. Can you imagine trying to drive home after putting a headlight in and you can't move? But I was very blessed to get a used tranny for $3,000. So I was very thankful for that. But I will say, yes, Dave, I am doing the research on Teslas. I now realize that, truth be known, it is time to get a Tesla. Had a great van with Susan. Thank you. Have a great week, everyone.
Susan, thank you so much. I'm glad you're back on the road. And Norm, over to you.
Norm Boyer from Boyer Boys Maintenance and Repair. So this week I had a call to fix an island, the IKEA island. So I know where to get the parts and how to fix it. But the problem is we have a minimum labor charge. So I said to them, what else do you need fixed at your house? And so we got them to do what's called a honeydew list. So if you're not familiar with that, it's a list that your partner makes up, all that needs to be fixed around your house, and says, here, honey, fix this. So the smart honeys go, hey, Norm, here's this list that my honey wants fixed. So we fix that honeydew list. So the biggest thing is we're equipped with the proper tools to do it, with the knowledge to do it. And so we get done the honeydew list so people can go do their favorite activity, golfing when it's golf season, fishing, or other hobbies that they'd rather do than do the honeydew list. So if you know somebody that has a honeydew list, have them go to our website, boyerboys.ca, find out what we can do in their house. So I didn't have any BAMs this week, but I'm looking to do some BAMs this week. I have some free time, so if anybody's available for a BAM, let me know. Boyer Boys Home Maintenance Repair. Don't know how to do it, don't want to do it, don't have the time to do it, we'll do it. We fix your home. Boyer Boys Home Maintenance and Repair.
Norm, thank you. And speaking of honeys, because it's part of the title, you know where I'm going, Jacqueline? Over to you.
I think I do know where you're going with that. And I've been speaking to people with regard to interest rates, and I keep hearing, I know they're dropping, I know they're dropping, I know they're dropping. Question is, when and what terms would you be referring to? Is it a 5-year, a 3-year, a 4-year, a variable rate mortgage? What rates would you think are dropping? Bank prime, that's currently, hopefully, moving. And there's a whole lot of hopefully. What makes perfect sense is listen to the experts. Listen to Benjamin Tall, who's with CIBC. He sees what could be. So what I would be doing if I were you is choosing to, if you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, not sure about the interest rates, you want to contact your mortgage honey.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. Ema.
Hi.
Over to you.
Sorry, I was just doing something. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Ema Ortega from Picture Plus. I am a commercial photographer. I help business owners with their imaging when it comes to doing all their photography for their marketing collateral. Either it's products or services. We go into the location, take the photos for whatever product that you're selling or the services that you're selling. We take the photographs, and then those photographs are submitted to your designers to use them in the different marketing collaterals. I also have a printing company, and for example, right now I'm doing an entire big wall for forces, and I just wanted to mention that just in case you guys need some printing, that goes on your walls, or some kind of things, some kind of like graphics that you need on your walls in your office or in your store, we can do that as well. In terms of to BAMs, we haven't done much. I haven't done anything yet this week, but I am planning some BAMs with Susan Ebbs, and we'll go from there. Thank
Emma,
you.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you so much. Kat, over to you.
Hi, everybody. So some of you will know I work in the digital space, so I help people with their online marketing. So this week I am looking for introductions to any business owner who is struggling with words for their social media, their website copy, or their Google business. So this could just be because you don't know what to say. It could be English is not your first language. Doesn't really matter to me. I just want to help you get your message out there. So if you know anybody who is looking for some words for their marketing, I would love to get an introduction. Thank you. And in terms of BAMs, I'm going to do a project with Lana. So I don't know how that's going to go. I'm just going to do like a little video editing trial for her. So next week I'll be able to tell you how that goes. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And we're swinging over to Deirdre.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Deirdre Jorson, and I'm the founder and lead designer of Eastboro Designs. I am a boutique residential interior designer, and I help clients, so homeowners and contractors and developers, get ready for a renovation or a custom build. So I assist and do everything from material selections, so everything that is required for finishes, flooring, tile, cabinetry, countertop, lighting, plumbing fixtures, paint, you name it, for a full custom home, including also the exterior finishes. And then when it comes to a renovation, I take care of rejigging a floor plan. If you're removing and reinstalling a kitchen in the same location, you don't have to do a big footprint change. I take care of that as well. So the whole purpose is to have a thoughtful design process, a thoughtful layout that will improve the lifestyle of the homeowners or future homeowner, and to get the clients ready and the contractors ready to actually execute the work. So giving clients the confidence moving into construction, which tends to be the most stressful part of the process, and having enough time for the contractors to order the appropriate materials in time for the actual renovation itself. So I create a complete drawing package that includes permit, stamped drawings if they're required. I use a tech team. I'm an architectural technologist as well as an engineer. So everything gets assessed so that we can supply the drawings for the permit submission. So basically everything from A to Z to get everybody ready for the big day. And that drawing package is basically the roadmap that the contractor can take and then move along with hopefully very little questions to the homeowner during construction. Now I've been able to finally have a connection with Guy. So he and I did more conversation, how to talk this week. And we will be, last week, and we will be meeting on one of his sites next week. So I'll be able to take a look at his quality of work, make sure that we are a good fit, that I can provide the service to his clients, so that he, as the contractor, is not running around like crazy and having to do all the things that a designer is supposed to do. And hopefully he will be one of my contractors that I'll be able to rely on when I have some clients that require the work to be executed. So that's that BAM that's happening. Susan and I do have a BAM scheduled for next week, and Tony and I have ongoing business together. I believe it's next week or the following. So that is it for me. Deirdre Jorson of Eastboro Designs. Look forward to working with you soon.
Deirdre, thank you so much. Scott. We're going to knock on your door. And you, by the way, feel free to share your contact details in the meeting chat and welcome. And let us know how we did so far for our meeting. We haven't got to the main course yet. That's Wendy, but you might not be here. So over to you, sir.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the invitation today. It's always nice to meet other people and make contacts since my business is pretty much 100% referral driven. So it's nice to expand the network all the time. A little bit about who I am, what I do. So, of course, I'm a home inspector. My primary business focuses on helping people through the purchase of resale homes. So I'll go in pre-purchase for the majority of my clients and inspect the house. And really my approach is that of, I look at myself as a storyteller or an interpreter. And basically every house has a story to tell, but not everybody knows how to read that book. And so what I do is go through the house and look at it and analyze it and put together the story in real time for my clients so that they have the information to then walk away and think about their purchase decision and the impact that it might have. It's not a red light, green light type of thing because everybody's got different tolerance levels. Crooked house to one client might be a big deal and to the next it's not at all. So I take a bit of a different approach to it. I've been operating here in the Ottawa area now for 5.5 years or so. Just a little over 1,100 houses inspected in the area. So we're doing well. I do operate on my own, and I don't know what else to tell you. That's kind of who I am, what I do. My company is called Pintail Inspections, and I'll throw in the chat my contact info. I do have a website. I'm reachable by phone, email, text, and I do have online booking mechanism so people can jump on my website and book right there.
Thank you so much. Tony, you're up, man.
Okay, thank you, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group, and we are about to get into brand new energy on starting on February the 10th. It's a phase-in process from the last energy, the energy of the rooster, going right into the energy of the dragon. What that really means when you get all that sifted out, the energy of that dragon is very assertive. It knows what it wants, and it is the most powerful energy that there is. So this year, 2024, because it also lands on that year, 2, 2, 4, that adds up to 8, which means abundance. And when that collides at the same time, it means that this will be your best year you've ever done. However, you're going to work for it. The dragon likes to sift through stuffs, and all that fire energy will be really much prevalent. It's also the green wood dragon at the same time. They all change all the time. But what that means is that anything made of wood will be very powerful for you. You have let's say, a necklace that is made of hemp, made of plants, and there's a piece of wood on the end of that, a medallion or something that you picked up at a piazza years ago at a flea market. Even a bracelet. This one I got from Hawaii. It's a mahogany wood bracelet. And what wood is in massive case in this way is because in feng shui, water and money are the same thing. Whatever's happening to your home, like if Scott goes into a home and finds a leak, the way I see it is that you're draining money. So whether there's a tap that's leaking or the toilet keeps going on and on and on, the shower keeps dripping, that's a big deal for me. Scott will just want you to fix the washer, but in a bigger perspective, I see money leaking out. It usually happens with new homeowners when they move into a new home and the energy is a little off. So we look at it that way. But if you look at what a tree does, it's made of wood. And what does it do with water? It draws it in. So if you have a wooden bracelet, wear it on your left hand if you write with your right. So it's a non-dominant. Left is usually your receiving money coming in, and right is money going out. That's how you write a check, right? Anything, and you pay by cash, you usually use your right hand. And when you receive money, you usually use your left hand. All right. So in all of this, we're going to be talking about this in a feng shui class I'm going to be doing in about a month and a half or so, talking about the energies of the home. So it's really going to be a nice introduction to how you can get your prosperity going through your home. Everything is done through your home. So Tony Jenners from Higher Self, where we are here to raise your spirits.
Tony, thank you so much. My name is Bernie, and what do? I'm a business concierge. I connect businesses between other businesses. And got two elements to add to that. An Act for Business podcast. That's about the journey of people's different roles in their own business and where they've gone and how they've transited the space. We also have another event that's coming up that's part of the World Referral Network. Free to attend. It's on Mondays at 3 p.m. We have guest speakers rolling into that space. You're more than welcome to attend, no obligations, etc. You don't even have to register as a WRN member. You might have to if you're trying to find the link, but if not, you can always reach out to me. BAM-wise, it's been a busy week. Actually, Kat and I had a conversation last week. Got an impromptu phone call out of nowhere, and I'm like, hey, who's this? All the way from the UK. That's awesome. I had a BAM with Carl, BAM with Josh, and then Tony, Lana, Jacqueline, and Richard Crossing, and they all attended the East Trade Winds, which was a Tuesday morning, I think 8 to 9 Eastern. Any of those details are inside the chat. And now we're going to swing over. A couple of quick things before we start up. If your mic is on, mute yourself. That way we don't have this transient sound coming across. Otherwise, I'm going to be busy with my little finger going, right? We don't want to do that because Wendy's going to give us a compelling story about real estate. Wendy, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Wendy Chung, real estate broker with Century 21 and the Ottawa House and Condo Group. I love what everyone shared this morning. I think that with whatever everybody shared, there is something you can take from everyone's value. And Tony, with your words about the year of the dragon and being the best year, and you got to work for it, that's absolutely what you need to do. And I feel that the market is moving, and I'm just getting calls left, right, and center. So extremely busy, and I haven't had any time for BAM, but I haven't forgotten about any of you. And believe me, whenever there is someone that I meet that needs one of your services, I will be reaching out to you. So let me just start with my presentation. I am going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, you're showing your desktop. Now you're full. Yeah, good to go.
Okay, good to go. So what I'm going to talk about today is pretty long, so I'm going to try to wrap it up in the 10 minutes that I have. As of December 1st, 2023, there is new legislation in Ontario for real estate agents. So as you know, real estate is governed provincially in our country. So this is only relevant to Ontario. So anytime that someone asks a realtor for a service, we need to provide this RECO information guide. And this guide covers a lot. So on the left-hand side, what's inside? Basically, working with a real estate agent, what does that actually mean? What are the expectations and the responsibilities, not only of the agent, but also of the client? Knowing the risks of representing yourself, this is something new. Signing contracts with a real estate brokerage, what does that mean? Understanding multiple representation and how to make a complaint. I believe that these changes have happened because there have been a number of complaints in the province of Ontario. And so therefore, there was a need to change up some of the ways that we do business with consumers. So for example, if you are a seller, an agent can provide you with a variety of services. One of the services is advising you on market conditions and the best strategy to attract buyers to get the best price for your home. That is one of the biggest responsibilities of a listing agent to a seller. marketing, advertising your home, providing referrals to other professionals like yourselves if we need a painter, if we need a home inspector, if we need a plumber, electrician, etc. Arrange and attend home inspections and appraisals. That's not always necessary, because if you're working for the seller, it's usually the buyer agent who is going to schedule the home inspection, and it's the buyer agent who's going to attend that home inspection, not the listing agent. Of course, arranging showings for interested buyers. If it's a buyer that calls in about a particular property and you're the listing agent and they don't have an agent and they want you to show it, of course you would show it. Advising on how long, how to handle competing offers, vet the offers and potential buyers to ensure that they can afford the property, negotiate with the buyers to achieve the best result, and guide you through the paperwork and closing the transaction successfully. Tons of more paperwork involved now in a real estate transaction. Now, on the other side, if you're a buyer, an agent can assist you with getting pre-approvals, say with Jacqueline Richards, for example, make you aware of any tax exemptions that you might be eligible for, gather, share information, making inquiries about zoning, permitted property use, or other aspects of the home, advise you on the best approach if there's a competing offer situation, negotiate with sellers to achieve the best results price. Of course, you're working on the other side of the table now, guide you through the paperwork and provide referrals if needed. You will also benefit from the duties the brokerage and the agent owe to you. Of course, if you are a client of the brokerage or of the representative, the sales representative, these are the services that you will benefit from: undivided loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, and avoid conflicts of interest. These are all fiduciary duties is what we call it. These are the same duties that a lawyer will owe to his or her client. Now, this guide also talks about the responsibility of a client. So we've never covered this before. So as a client, you are responsible for being clear on what you want and what you don't want with your agent, sharing as much information as possible so that your agent can then know how to service you in the best possible way. Also, respond to your agent's questions quickly and understand the terms of the agreement with the brokerage and the fees that you need to pay and that you agree upon when you sign a contract. So something new that we've never discussed before is representing yourself. So now there is no more customer service. So in the past, we would sign clients to a buyer representation agreement or a customer service agreement. So with the customer service agreement, we had limited services to that person. That person did not want representation. They just wanted you to sort of do the paperwork for them. But now there's no more customer service in the world of real estate in Ontario. It's called representing yourself. So let me give you an example. On Saturday, I had a person that called me on one of my own listings, and they wanted to see the property. I asked this person if they had an agent who they wanted to use instead of me, and they said, we don't have an agent and we don't want an agent. So I made it very clear to them that because of the new legislation, I had to send this guide over to them, and I wanted them to review it and ask me whatever questions they had. Well, I don't think they actually reviewed it. They just said, we're not signing anything. So you don't actually have to get the client to sign anything, but you do have to get an acknowledgement that they received this guide. And it's their responsibility to review it and if they have any questions, to let you know. So as it turns out, I did show the property to these people and they were interested, but they wanted to negotiate verbally. Now, I also explained to them again, you are now choosing to represent yourself, and so therefore I cannot provide you with any services. I represent the seller. So whatever you tell me, I'm going to go back and tell the seller. So you need to be careful of how we have this conversation. As it turns out, nothing ever materialized, but that was my very first experience with someone who was seeking to represent themselves. So the risk with representing yourself means that you don't get any services. You don't get the benefit of someone who's working for you.
Interesting.
So that's very interesting. So signing a contract with a real estate brokerage. So there are two types. There's called a brokerage representation and a designated representation. So the brokerage office, so my office is called Century 21 Synergy. So our brokerage has decided that we are going to only sign a designated representation with each and every client, whether it's a seller client, a buyer client, a landlord, or a tenant that we're representing. So that means that the brokerage does not represent, like the brokerage meaning all the agents under that umbrella do not represent that client. It is one person. So in my case, it would be me. So that's something that's quite different, because in the past, it was understood that the brokerage represented the client, but you are the representative of that brokerage. So the terminology has changed. Okay. Oh, sorry. All right, next. So again, with services, again, the contract will go through all the services that your representative will be providing with you, to you, and there's no standard set of services. So it's very subjective to the individual designated representative that you choose to represent you. In the contract, you will also have details of payment amounts and terms. And if you are a seller, it will clearly indicate your responsibility. And if you're a buyer, also what that agreement will entail. There's also termination provisions within the contract. And there's an expiry date and holdover clause. I'm not going to go over too much of that today because it's pretty long. A big portion of this guide is understanding multiple representation. This is something that the Real Estate Council of Ontario wants us to avoid, which is multiple representation, which means if I'm the designated representative for the seller, I do not want to also be the designated representative for the buyer, because that puts me in multiple representation. And the difference in my service that I can provide to both parties changes completely. It means that I can only act as a facilitator between the buyer and the seller. I cannot then offer them more detailed advice. So it's to a disadvantage to each of the clients if we find ourselves in a multiple representation situation. And there's ways of dealing with that, which I'm not going to go into today because it's going to take too long. So let me go to the next slide. So this is how you can file a complaint. So this is something that they also wanted to make sure that a consumer knows how to register a complaint. And then, of course, the last page is the acknowledgement signature that I will get from each and every person who wants real estate services from me. So I know that I went through that extremely quickly, but again, it's a very detailed 12-page document. So with that, does anybody have any questions?
Remember to unmute your mics when you go to ask the question, though. A quick one. What happens if you're doing your own, selling your own house? Like, you know, purple, whatever. You know, sorry,
Yeah.
Cat, not purple panda, but there's other versions of purple over here. And I don't want to do the brand recognition piece for them here. But if you're doing your own self-sell, how does that fit into that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we can also help buyers to purchase a property that's not listed with the brokerage. So it's there's a term for it. And again, this is all very brand new. It's sort of like the seller decides to self-represent, or it's a property that's not listed. So there's another process for that, Bernie, in which case we still have to negotiate with the seller to pay a commission for us to be able to bring them a qualified buyer and have a successful closing. So that hasn't changed, but there is different paperwork now that's involved, but we can do it. We will represent and only represent the buyer in that case.
Does anybody else have a question? Sam, I was getting worried, man. You're usually right in there to go. Go ahead, Sam.
Hi, Wendy. Thank you for your presentation this morning. Is it still the, like, say you're the buying agent, are you the person, the agent, buying agent person, still paid by the seller?
That's a really good question. So now there's legislation. So some of you might have heard what happened in the US with the lawsuit there, with commissions being paid. And so it is trickling down into Canada. So we may find one day that the seller is only going to pay the commission to their listing agent, and now possibly the buyers might have to cover the commission to their agent. So these are different conversations that are coming about, not having the seller be on the hook to pay commissions on both sides. So that's something that is still being explored. But there is a possibility down the road that the buyers will be on the hook to pay the commission for the agent that represented them to be able to acquire a successful property.
So right now, correct me if I'm wrong, the buying agent makes more money if the buyer pays more for the place.
Not necessarily. No, that's not the case. So right now, the listing agent covers all the commissions related to the sale of the property, and whatever the contract that's drawn up between the listing designated representative and the seller as to how much commissions being paid to the listing side and how much is being paid to the buyer side. Still, it's the seller's responsibility to pay that commission as of now. So that commission percentage, Sam, is negotiated between the listing designated representative and the seller. The buyer has nothing to do with it. The buyer only accepts what the negotiated commission rate is, and that will be posted on the MLS or realtor.ca. I'm not sure if you can see it on realtor.ca, but we can see it on our back end. So still the commissions are being paid by the seller.
Yeah, so the buying agent has a set commission, or?
No, there's no set commission. So the buyer agent will get whatever commission is posted on the listing as a cooperating brokerage.
If you negotiated a really good percentage, Sam, and your buying agent came along, he can get a portion of that. He can't negotiate it fatter, unless of course they come. Yeah, in which case you're going to involve a lawyer. You're going to spin it up that way. I'm going to suspect, right, Wendy?
Yeah, so yeah. There's no set standards anymore. Like everything is changing now. It all depends on your conversation with your client and how that's going to work out. Because say, for example, Sam, down the road, the seller decides, no, I'm not paying any commission to the buyer agent. So the buyer agent then has to have a conversation with their client, because again, nobody works for free, and say, listen, whatever property I show you, if the seller is not willing to pay my commission, you're going to be paying my commission. So we need to sign an agreement between us that you're going to be paying my commission at whatever house I sell you. So the buyer agent doesn't double dip. Maybe that's the confusion. There has to be only one commission that's paid either by the seller or the buyer, Sam, to the buyer agent. They don't get it paid twice. I don't know if that makes sense.
But don't
Yeah.
they share it? Like if it's a 5% commission, do each can one get 2.5%? So
yeah, it could
the
be
seller,
2.5,
the
2.5. Yeah, or it could be 3 and 2, or it could be 2 and 3. It all depends on the, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the average commission is 5%. In Toronto, we're hearing agents are getting 6 and 7%. But also here, there's some agents that are only charging 4%. It really depends on the designated representative and the value they bring to the whole transaction and what they negotiate with the seller.
But the seller is still paying the 4% or 5%.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they're not paying an additional 4% or 5% to the buying agent.
No, they're not.
Right.
They're not.
Okay, but
no.
so you're saying that is changing.
That might be changing down the road where the seller, let's say the seller only pays 2.5% commission, to the listing sales representative. And then maybe they say, we're paying nothing to the buyer agent. So any buyer that brings me a qualified offer and we negotiate that, that buyer agent has to ask their own buyer to pay their commission.
Wow.
So it's possible that down the road that the seller is no longer paying for both sides, only for one side.
Same pot of money, though. Same pot of money. It just
It's
who's
possible,
paying.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It
Sorry,
depends
guys,
who's
for the
paying who for what.
confusion. Norm.
So what happens now if you have a listing and then you have a buyer for it? Is that complicated?
It is complicated. So I won't put myself in a multiple representation situation. I don't want to be the designated representative for both parties because both parties will not benefit at all. And so I would refer it out to somebody else.
Within your brokerage?
Because I don't want.
Within your brokerage, could you refer it to another party? Okay.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yeah. If anybody wants more information, set up a BAM with me and I'll go through it with you. There's a lot of moving parts within this new legislation that I'm still trying to work through different scenarios.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you so much.
Wendy, awesome presentation. Thank you. And you're right. If you have questions, that's what the BAMs are all about, right? And the quote for the day is, I'm not a product of my circumstances. I'm a product of my decisions. Stephen Covey. And with that, we are a wrap at